What's up, everybody? I'm back with another Top 5 Thursday. That's right, it is Thursday. It's creeping up on us again. Not Thursday, but the weekend. We're almost home free and through the bullshit. And you know, on the back end of your weekdays, if you're fortunate enough, I charm myself sometimes. You get to spend a Thursday with me talking about movies, top fives of your choice. And I'm doing back to back on these because I'm going on vacation, not next week, but the week after. So I need to have one already in the tank that I can just press upload while I'm on vacation because I won't be able to around my recording equipment. So I'm taking two of the top fives that were suggested. This is the first of them, and that will be top five found footage movies. This one by Jason Wilkins. I believe he suggested the top five Justin Long video, so I know I've at least done one other of his. But, without further ado, let's jump into top five found footage movies. And let me say a disclaimer real quick. Not a big fan of these movies. They get me on the edge of my seat due to the way they are filmed, found footage because it feels so real, more than any movies. But in the end, the punchlines and everything, it just feels cheap by the end of it and not very well done. But there's a few gems out there for sure. This was actually a little harder to narrow down than I thought it was going to be. But kicking it off at number five, I'm going to go with Cannibal Holocaust. We're kicking it back to the 70s here, people. Yes. Some people, still this day, never seen Cannibal Holocaust. Either they just are oblivious, not big horror fans, or they're like, yeah, I've heard it's extremely fucked up, and I don't want to watch that. Well, you'd be correct. Maybe on all three. But basically, it's like The Green Inferno. If you saw that. Have you not seen The Green Inferno? Fuck. Losing you already. If you have seen The Green Inferno by Eli Roth, you'd have a good idea of what Cannibal Holocaust is like, except Cannibal Holocaust is dialed up, some more smidgens a little bit. This is a movie that, due to its found footage type style, a lot of people, especially from that time, found footage wasn't as prevalent. It's kind of a documentary style, the way they're filming it. People thought they were really killing people. Like, there was motherfuckers looking at this shit like, this movie needs to be outlawed. I can't believe they would take these people to the middle of this motherfucking place, wherever they were at, getting eaten by these cannibalistic tribes, and they'd film it and pass off as a movie. That's how disturbing this movie is. It had people literally thinking that was happening. If you're a big animal fan, you might want to hide your eyes because they actually do kill real animals in this movie, which a lot of people have a beef with. I'm not full on, vegetarian, like, don't hurt that animal, but I'm also not full on who gives a shit. You know what I mean? So I'm somewhere in between with that, but it is a little, discomforting to watch, but it also kind of adds to, like, the mythology and creepiness of the film that we have hyped up as Cannibal Holocaust. It's just got a weird aura, creepiness around it that is really special. Cannibal Holocaust at number five. At number four, matter of fact, let me make sure I got this right before I just... we're going to roll with Exist. Exist is a movie about a Bigfoot. And I have seen many a Bigfoot movie because I'm all up into some cryptozoology, or at least used to be. Like, I was that guy that was like, we are going to find Bigfoot. Like, that was dope. I'd go into the woods. I'd look for it. I'd still go on a fucking Bigfoot hunt. I don't give a shit. Now, if I ever found him, I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do. But, yeah, I'm really into that kind of shit. But, like, every time there's, like, a Bigfoot movie, it seems like the Bigfoot is barely shown. Or if it is shown, it ends up being, oh, he's a nice Bigfoot. But, I want my Bigfoot to be like just ready to eat you, rip your head off, be downright scary. I've seen a couple of them that are that way, in style. They're trying to be scary, trying to be bloody, but they just don't do it right. Exists, finally, and that's probably why I vaulted it up so high, gave me what I wanted in a Bigfoot movie. If you haven't seen this fucking Bigfoot is insane. It truly is. And it's not the CGI shit, it's the practical effects. A lot of it's like quick cuts, you see it for a second, but that quick second you see it, you're like, holy shit, that's downright creepy. Basically, it looks like not just a Bigfoot, what you would imagine in your mind, you know, because when you think of Bigfoot, you might be thinking Harry and the Hendersons, or you might be thinking of like some snarling beast. It pulls off quite effectively how good the snarling beast of a Bigfoot it looks. Like it's intense looking. It really is. And again, the found footage does work here because it adds to the realness. I'll say that on like every one of these movies because it's true. And the people that are getting chased and attacked, they're not amazing, but I've seen some downright horrible, horrible, horrible bottom of the barrel acting in these kind of movies. Not too bad here. Enough to where it's just believable enough. And then you just got this Bigfoot that's like yelling in the distance outside of the fucking cabin, and it's just hunting them down one by one. Yeah, this is the Bigfoot movie I've been asking for I don't know how long. Exist is going to be on here. Number 4. At number 3, oh man, this is tough. I didn't even rank these now that I'm stuck. I mean, these 3 are undoubtedly my favorites. I'm going to go with The Reef. The Reef is a very, very underrated shark movie. If you've seen Open Water and you like that, watch this because you'll probably like it more. It's basically open water with, bigger sharks, great whites. Well, great white. And that's basically the premise of the movie. You got these 4 people that are on vacation, and they're with their little boat guide, and they're driving off in the distance, and then they hit some fucking reef out of nowhere. Boat comes crashing to a stop. You're wondering how in the hell are they going to get out of this? They're stranded out of nowhere. And, of course, and the tourists or the people that are on this little boat ride, not the guy that's actually the driver, there's always that one guy that just knows what you need to do or gets you into something that maybe he shouldn't have. But he's just, I'm going to be the leader in this moment. And you know what? He was believable in that role. So I probably maybe would have followed him too, and I'm downright terrified of sharks. But he's basically looking out in the distance in one scene, and it was like, we're drifting. We are drifting further and further and further away from shore. And they're just like, what are you suggesting? He's like, well, I'm thinking we need to take a swim. Like, are you fucking insane? A swim? And the fucking boat driver's like, I've seen what's in these waters, mate. I'm not going out there, which that should have warned you right there. This dude's like, I'm from here. I've seen this. I'd rather die of fucking dehydration and, just starving to death. But he's just like, no. Like the guy that's, rallying the troops is like, no, man, we can do this. We got life vests. We can float on them. We're looking at, I think it's like, maybe it says 20 miles. We got to swim 20 miles. And that's going to be hard, but I know we can do that. And they're just like, what do you mean? It's just like, and he's basically like, hey, look, we're either going to keep floating further and further from the shore, or we can go right now. This is our opportunity, our one shot. Seize everything we ever wanted, which is land. That's right, Eminem. It's land. That's what you always wanted, and you didn't even know it. But eventually, they argue a little more. They're like, oh, my God, what about like a plane or something? He's like, have you seen a fucking plane? And they're like, good point. And eventually, they all head out into the water. They're on their swim. They're like, we're going to do this. We're going to pull it off. And the boat guy was like, y'all fuck crazy. I'll sit here. And I don't know who's smartest in this situation because you don't really know what happened to the boat, man. It's based on a true story, which makes it even more creepy. But as they're swimming, everything seems like it's good for about like 8 miles, whatever it is. And then they just start seeing shit. Like one girl's like, what was that? And like, what are you talking about? Another girl's like, no, I saw it too. There was some movement over there. And eventually, leader, Captain Dickhead, whatever his name, he wasn't a dickhead. He was a cool character. But he goes down. He's like, yep, it's a great white. And this shark is just swarming them the whole time. It is downright scary. It is downright creepy. This movie gets under your fucking skin. Easily one of the best, if not the best, shark movies since Jaws. I love it. It's under my skin every time. So well done. So well acted. Amazeballs. Watch The Reef if you haven't seen it. At number 2, we're going to go with Creep. Creep, Mark Duplass. This is a fucking spectacular movie that is about really as simple as it gets. It feels even more low budget maybe than other fucking, what the fuck? I almost forgot the title of this video is found footage movies. It just, I don't know, there's something about it that feels like you're just hanging out, watching 2 people hang out together, except one's really weird, because one dude takes like a Craigslist ad, and he finds out he's just coming there to hang out with Mark Duplass's character. That's literally his only job. He's like, I just got to sit here and fucking hang out with you. But as time goes on, Mark Duplass's character starts to get really creepy and more weird and more weird and more weird to the point he has to flee. And then he's starting to have, dude, I don't want to give it away 'cause so many people haven't seen Creep. But basically, he's starting to sense that he's coming to visit him like at night and things of that nature. He gets like a package on the porch and he's like, there's something really weird here. Creep is a movie that, you can't dive too deep into. It's kind of cut and dry. You're like, oh, here, then this happens, and this happens. That's kind of the movie. But I will say that. It's just got a very, very creepy vibe. And again, let me just beat it in the ground. It feels so real. Yeah, it freaks me the fuck out for that reason. And Mark Duplass is just, my God, what a joy to watch in this movie. He's amazing. And then at number one, we're going to go with VHS 2. Now, if you know me, I love some anthologies. I really do. And this is probably after Creep Show. I got to even thank, of course, Tales from the Crypt, even though it's a show. But even the movies, they're just one. It's like one episode of Tales from the Crypt, elongated. So it's not an anthology in the sense that it's all encapsulated in one film. But VHS 2 is downright fucking great, dude. I mean, if you're a fan of the Raid movies, in particular, one of my favorite anthology clips of anything, if not my favorite, the one in particular, Safe Haven, dude. Safe Haven. This was like directed, had a big hand in it, was Gareth Evans from the Raid movies. And then I didn't know that originally, but going back, when you watch it, you're like, obviously they're not doing martial arts left and right. But you can definitely see the style and the way it's filmed. It's very, very Gareth Evansy. And there's some downright just creepy fucking imagery and scary shit that's going on in that. See, not just that one, every one of them. They're all good. I'm just highlighting my favorite one personally. You should definitely at least check out Safe Haven, YouTube it, do something like that. Because it will downright get under your skin with a very, very effective, creepy fucking monster. You're sitting in this because it doesn't take a long time to go because it's get into it because it's an anthology. You're fucking, 5-10 minutes into it and you're like, we're balls of the wall already. Jesus Christ. There's no time for build up. There's just that smidgen, but then you're like vaulted into the just chaos and insanity. And that's like all these fucking stories. But this is my particular favorite of VHS 2. I'll leave you with that just to kind of get you on the, ooh, man, I need to see this if you haven't seen it. Hopefully y'all haven't seen some of these found footage movies. Not all of them are overly popular. Usually the ones that come out in theaters like right away are the ones that fucking suck. They are. Blair Witch at one point was one of my favorite horror movies. That would have definitely been on here, but you could actually put that on another list because it was cool for what it was because nobody was doing those type of found footage movies back then. Now when you watch it, you're like, this is fucking bland as hell. It lost its creativity. It lost its, it didn't lose its creativity, but it lost its creativity, the ability to pull you in. It kind of lost that on, not second viewing, but first viewing in forever, because I've seen so many found footage movies now. The ingenious of Blair Witch kind of washed away even more. Just like when it first came out, and we found out it wasn't even true, but you're still like, this is still creepy. You watch it now, it's like, dude, this is like nothing even fucking happens. What a bland found footage movie. But yeah, that's why that is not on here, but would have been another time. That would be another good list, though, man. If y'all want to throw on movies you used to love, but now you hate. Yeah, that type of deal. But anyways, that's my top 5. Hope you enjoyed it. Found footage movies. Love you guys. See ya.